last rites till he gave his last breath.
As therapy for the endless pain and the unimaginable sorrow that entered his life, September 11th, 2001, Steve Cafaro took to poetry.
Lost to cold-blooded acts of insanity, man's inhumanity on humanity. Evil displayed its cruel, ugly face in an uglier form of the human race.
Cafaro's only son, Steve Jr., had just started his new job on the 92nd floor of the South Tower of the World Trade Center 2 weeks before the terrorist attacks.
Every day I say, well, why didn't Stephen start a week later? Why didn't he start a day later? So I roll with that back and forth every day.
13 years later, 2 twisted beams and a tattered flag that flew over Ground Zero during demolition are part of the 9/11 memorial on the banks of the Mohawk River in Glenville.
Michael Canty.
Steve Cafaro's hometown, where soldiers and firefighters and police officers in full dress uniform gathered for their annual tribute.
It's moving, to have the ceremony here every year. It's just awesome. It's a great experience.
And although those scenes and those images are difficult to bring back today and to see the violence and the terrorism, it's important to remember.
The commemorance of the event that's been called this generation's Pearl Harbor comes at a time when the threat of terrorism is just as real today, if not more so, than it was 13 years ago.
We have a tremendous threat to the entire world in this organization that you've all heard about called ISIS.
We live in very perilous times. But to remember the reality that we are still under siege. It isn't over.
We don't know if ISIS is here already. That's an open wound. And the only way we can close that wound is if we stitch it up, and then it will heal.
The 9/11 memorial was built on the grounds of the Water's Edge Lighthouse in Glenville, right beside the Mohawk River. It pays tribute to all of the Schenectady County residents or natives of Schenectady County who died in the 9/11 attacks, including Schenectady's former police commissioner, Charlie Mills. In the newsroom, Dan Levy, News Channel 13 Today.